different levels of the companies. Okay. So international financial management is one course, one subject in your PG diploma in financial management. You might have heard about financial accounting. Did you complete your financial accounting? Did you complete your financial accounting earlier? Kalyan,
Sir.
did you complete financial accounting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then financial management also you might have completed. This is international financial management or simply international finance, IF it is called. Financial management, when you're talking about, it is how to raise money for various needs of the company, whether to raise it from preference share capital or raise it from equity share capital or raise it through debentures, raise it through bonds, raise it through treasury bills. Okay, and what is cost of raising each instrument of financial resource? Let's go for, common stock or called as equity shares. When you're going for equity shares issue, equity share is an instrument of raising money from the market, capital market. You raise from the capital market, from the general public, and pull it up and use it for various companies' needs. Okay, when you're raising and using, you will check whether it is viable for the company to raise it. Also, if I raise the money, how am I going to pay it back? The banks have become so liberal after privatization of the public sector banks, and they have been extending loans to people, okay, liberalizing the stringent norms of extending or advancing loans. With that, the EMI culture has flourished. For every small thing to a very big thing, there's an EMI, facility for the middle class. Even the, upper middle class or even the rich class also, these days, they are not spending, full-fledged or full cash for procuring a house or a car. They are also going for EMIs, equated monthly installments. Right? So, when these people are taking loans, many people are very religiously, very, systematically, they make such a plans in such a way that they are able to pay it back to the bank, the full amount. Okay. But at times, people, just because money is coming, people are taking whatever money that is available from the bank as loans, but they are not able to pay. But when it comes to the company, when you're raising money, you should also convince the investors how you're going to pay them back. How are you going to return them back in various forms? Okay, through dividends, through interest, you have to make the compensation for the money that you're using from the public. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Yeah, you will convince them saying, I'm going to invest in project 1, project 2, and that project is giving me, every year, first year it doesn't give me any income. Second year, I will be getting this much money. Third year, I'll be getting this much money. Like that, up to 10 years, it will give me income like this. Out of that, I'm going to pay you back. So this entire exercise, which I'm just telling you now, is capital budgeting, right? There's a cost involved. First, you're thinking, what are the sources that I can raise money? Capital. Okay, capital structure. What type of capital structure do I need to have? Okay, whether it is fully equity or fully debenture, that scenario doesn't exist, or partly equity and partly debentures. Okay, if it is partly debenture and partly equity, what is the proportion? Is it 50%, 50%, or 40, 60%, or 70, 30%? What is the proportion? You have to decide on that. And you're talking about capital structure. Then what's the cost of raising that capital? Cost of capital. You have calculated about cost of capital. Okay, and cost of capital about is also again various costs of individual costs of capital, cost of retained earnings, cost of equity, cost of preference, cost of debt. Okay, there are various costs, and all put together, you are telling you have been learning it as weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital. All this is financial management in a domestic scenario within the country. But if the same thing goes abroad, the dynamics are different. The challenges, the methodologies, the structures, okay, the regulation, they're all different when you're going for international. Okay, so to understand, the economic theory, the financial management, okay, at international platform, then you need to have the exposure of the dynamics of international, okay, markets. Look at this. The entire syllabus is, split into 5 blocks. 5 blocks. In a conventional system, they call it 5 units. But here they made it 5 blocks, and in the block they have given units. The Ambedkar University has given units, right? So, yeah, international financial management. That's the introduction. In this introduction, what is covered? The introduction to international financial management, then theories of foreign exchange rates. Then exchange rate mechanism. There may be one question on introduction or may not be. There may be a question on international theories of foreign exchange. There may be a question on exchange rate mechanism. It may be 1 and 2, or it may be 2 and 3, or it may be 1 and 3. The combination of questions that you may see in the examination. It may be 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, or 1 and 3. Okay, so international financial management. International financial management. Block 2. Markets for markets for foreign exchange and derivative. This is all about derivatives. This is all about derivatives. Okay, in block unit 4, they have given foreign exchange market, and 5 market for currency futures, 6 market for currency options. Block 3 consists of 3 units again. Unit 7 focus on forecasting exchange rates. Unit 8 measures the foreign exchange rate, foreign exchange exposure. 9 is dealing with the foreign exchange exposure again. It's measuring, and then next one is management. Then 4th one is foreign direct investment, international investment. Okay, it is dealing with 3 modules are there, or 3 units are there. In those 3 units, first one is FDI, second one, international capital budgeting, third one, international portfolio management. But the numbering given is unit 10, 11, 12. And last of all, international financing decisions, international financial market, multilateral development banks, okay, like multilateral ADB, okay, the World Bank, the IMF, and many other international financial lending institutions. Then you have 13 module or unit for international financial market, 14 for multilateral development banks, 15 for international financial instruments. When you're raising money through these institutions, what are the instruments that are used by these lending agencies is in the 15th unit. This is all the overview of the syllabus. Fine. As I told you, you may get two questions. The two questions are 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or 1 and 3. This is how the combination. The same will be applicable to the rest of the blocks also. Okay, 7 and 8, or 8 and 9, or 7 and 9. You take the last one also. 13 and 14, or 13 and 15, or 14 and 15. It's the same way. Fine. Now we will go to block 1. Okay. Now please ask me if you have any questions here. I think there's only one student here. If you have any questions, you can ask me here.
No, sir. Continue.
Okay. So, the problem is people think that, we can listen, we can get it done by ourselves or by looking at videos. But this discussion, the weightage of the marks and all those things, it is orienting you to the syllabus, not to just lecturing. But since there are not many people, there's a very less chance of discussion. But had there been at least 5-6 guys, we could have gone on dialogue than monologue. Fine. International financial environment. Okay. 3 modules are there, or 3 units are there. Right. Right. This is the overview. Okay. What is there in this unit? Introduction, meaning, definition, and nature and scope. Functions of international financial management. Now, I'll take you international financial management and general financial management difference. I just gave you the picture of that. We will go to the sample question and come back to this content. Explain the significance of international financial management. Explain the significance of international financial management. This is the question. What type of information would you be giving, Mr. Kalyan?
I don't know, sir. International
No,
finance.
no. Even if it is wrong, no problem. I will correct it. Explain the significance of international. Significance means importance. Explain the importance of international financial management.
Foreign exchange. Yeah. And
Hmm.
and any markets. I think.
Okay, you see, let's say, free bus ticket is given by the government.
Yes, sir.
Free travel is given, not ticket. Free travel is allowed given
Yeah.
to the women of Telangana. So when you are proposing that, why it is important to do that? Unless it is important, people don't do it. So
Yes,
the
sir.
government might have felt, or the parties, these parties, political parties might have felt that it is important. Okay, this will give us mileage, maybe political mileage, or maybe some, fillip to the middle class women, that they can travel easily and freely to support the husbands or the family. So they might have thought that it is important if you can launch this scheme. It is important. It is very crucial. Even to save the RTC, it is crucial because the RTC is going into losses. So if we are giving free ticket, that free amount we are supplying, we are filling the gap. When there is a free service given by the RTC, that amount has to be paid by somebody, and that somebody is government of Telangana. So when the government is funding or infusing the capital through this, welfare scheme, the company RTC also is getting revived. So, there are various means and, ways that they have assessed that this is very important scheme that we have to launch. There's one more scheme, we are taking only for example. There's one more scheme, during the previous government also, Raitu Bandhu is another good scheme. So they might have thought, the farmers are committing suicide and, we had to help us to, we are not talking politics here. We are just talking about the significance. Okay. So we have nothing to do politics. We are taking one scheme here and one scheme there, right? For example, and our own understanding. So Raitu Bandhu is another scheme. And when they are proposing that scheme, why it is important to help the middle class farmer? Of course, helping a rich class farmer or middle class farmer, that distinction may not be made, which is very cumbersome, but it is extended to all, whether somebody has a half-acre land or somebody has a 50 acres land, that is extended. Whatever it is, when that scheme is announced, when the scheme is given, there is some encouragement to the farmer. Why should we give that encouragement, first of all, in the first place, to the farmer? Why should we give? When the question is challenged by the experts, the government will substantiate itself, saying that, food is the essential commodity. If the farmers get disappointed and they don't get a minimum support price and they stop producing, if they stop producing, the food grains cost will go up because there's a very short supply. There's a big short supply. And that government can't afford to do that. So we had to feed the population of the state, and therefore we had to produce. Who should produce? The farmers have to produce. Okay, how best we can encourage the farmer to produce and supply? So look at this. That's how it is significant. Raitu Bandhu is significant scheme. Okay, the free service travel, free travel provided there's a significance. Therefore, they launched it. Whether the previous government or the present government, there's a significance. Likewise, why the international financial management is important for you if you are setting up a company in other countries also. Let's say you you're already working in a company, and down the line after 5 years, you want to have small consultancy firm, very small, of as small as 3 people. With 3 people, you want to start. When you're starting that consultancy company, okay, when you're starting that consultancy company, what happens? Uh, you may go out of the country also. For example, recently I came to know that there's one lady, who was working as in a school as a teacher, just came out of the school. What am I doing here? I'm just getting 40,000. Okay. Now this is, and during COVID, she was not paid even that. Oh, this is enough. How do I support my family? So that they came out and they started producing making these pickles, varieties of pickles, the prawns, the mutton, the chicken, okay, the garlic pickle, the mango pickle, and various other pickles. They started making these pickles, and they supplied at free of cost samples, and it was very good, tasty. And then they placed the orders to whomever they supplied these samples. All of them placed the orders in kilograms, and some of them they also requested for international. Then now they are sending from Hyderabad to various other countries. In the business, after 10 years, it may grow to such an extent that the North America demand is high for these pickles, let's say. In that case, you need to set up an office there in North America. Maybe in America or Canada, you may have to set up. So there you need to understand the dynamics there. Okay, you can't send money from here. You have to raise money from there. That's the true way of doing business. Okay, so likewise, I'm just telling what is the significance of financial management, importance of financial management, or importance of international finance. International finance. You attempt, Kalyan, and I will just also add on to what you attempt. And others also can attempt. Anil also can speak. Anil also can speak. Why international financial management is important is the question for the latecomers. You can see also, you can see the content I am sharing. This is your study material. You see the screen and also can discuss with me. Anil, Mr. Anil, are you there? Mr. Anil, are you there? Can you see the screen? Okay. So I will tell you. The difference between, formal communication and informal communication is most of the time we discuss informal way if it is in the classroom. But the same thing you have to present in a formal way. When it is black and white, be careful that it is proper and systematic and structured. If it is not structured, then people may not be, people may not be able to understand what you're trying to convey to them. So therefore, it should be structured. Fine. If I am given a question, what is the significance of international financial management? I would say that international finance, I'll begin the sentence like this. Since 1991, companies have gone global with the liberalization policy initiated by the then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao government. Dr. Manmohan Singh, the then finance minister, has initiated the liberalization of the economy, wherein the companies can go out and come in to the economy, Indian economy. In this process, there is a capital flow moving from other countries to India, India to other countries. Therefore, one needs to understand the dynamics of financial management at international platform. It is important to investors in one way. It is important to employees in another way. It is important to firms in another way, and it is important for intermediaries in another way, speculators in another way. Okay, how it is important to intermediaries, you have to write. How it is important to speculators, you have to write. Okay, and how it is important to regulators like SEBI and Securities Exchange Commission, SEC in US, Securities Exchange Board of India in India. Okay, so you have to write the reasons why it is important to them. And all put together is the significance of international finance over one essay. Athamainda, Anil, the answer you got it. you had to link the question with, very simplified way like this. International financial management is important to various stakeholders to the business. Okay. And importance to firms, importance to regulators, importance to, intermediaries, importance to speculators. Okay. Investors, you can go on explaining. That's it. Your significance of international financial management is over. Does it make any sense, Mr. Anil or Mr. Kalyan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one essay you got it. I don't want to waste time by explaining in detail. You go through based on the outline I'm giving you, the picture I'm giving you. Okay.
Okay,
Then
sir.
when you're going through, still if you get doubts, this content I don't want to discuss in detail, because if I had to discuss in detail what is there inside the content, I'm just giving you the outline. If I had to discuss in detail, then it may take about 40 clock hours, 40 hours. Okay, 1 hour of each 60 minutes, right? So which we don't have that much time. We have just how much time? 1 hour?
Yes, sir. 1 hour.
1 hour, okay. And I had to complete this in 1 hour, this unit. Then we'll go to the next unit in the next class, unit or block, you call it. Okay, we had to complete the block, right? Then, yeah, environment of international financial management. Okay, hey, you got an offer in, let's say, one company. Then your friend says, hey, don't go there. Why? He says the environment is not conducive, not very healthy. Okay. Why it is not healthy? No, there are a lot of risks there. There are a lot of challenges. Okay. So in the environment, there are risks. Degree may be more or less, but there are challenges, which we call in finance as risk. Okay, there are many countries operating in international financial platform. There are importers, there are exporters, there are book builders. Okay, there are, there are mortgagers. Okay, there are many players, right? To play or to dance amongst all these players, all these people, is not that easy. It's risky. What type of risk that you'll be undergoing or exposed to? Look at this. Look at this. The question will come to. Discuss functions of international financial management, he says, but risk is not the question given here. Okay, let us check whether he has given at the end. Yeah. International financial management. There is no question given on the risk, but there is a risk given. Look at this. They have not given in the list. What is this? Significance is over. Yeah. Environment is given. Okay. Actually, risk also should have been present here. Okay. What are the types of risks? Maybe he is covering in the next chapters, types of risks. There are many risks. Okay. Default risk is there, and there is market risk. Okay, there is a default risk also is known as credit risk. Okay, refusing to pay the money on the due date, that's called credit risk. Okay, and there are many other currency risks are there. All those risks he is not explaining in detail. He has just given in one paragraph. Then conflict of interest. Okay, conflict of interest means if you are working in a company, you cannot be helping other company, because if both the companies are in the same line of business, you should not be associated with another company, right? That is what common to all of us and known to us, right? So all this he is putting it as environment. Okay, then components of financial management, international finance environment. There is a foreign exchange market. Okay, there is a foreign exchange market. Exclusively for foreign exchange, there is a market, huge market. There is a billions and trillions of dollars being exchanged, billions transactions done on daily basis, except on holidays, Saturday, Sunday. On daily basis, billions of volume of transaction takes place. This is done through foreign exchange market. Then how the convertibility, we are going to discuss in detail the currency convertibility. That is, you have to pay in dollars when you are buying something from the United States in American dollars. If you have to procure material from the Singapore, you have to pay in Singapore dollars. Or if you're procuring some technology from Russia, you have to pay in rubles. Okay. And likewise in Japan, you have to pay in yen. So this is how that conversion has to be done. You have to surrender your rupees in exchange to that currency, and that will be paid to the exporter. And we also do the same thing. When we are sending something, we need currency in Indian rupees. So there are dealers for that, recognized by the Reserve Bank of India. We'll discuss those things in detail. So I'm just giving you the gist of this currency convertibility. Then there's an international monetary system, International Monetary Fund and World Bank. Together, they are called as Bretton Woods twins, and we will come in detail on this. Okay, at this point, we will not be doing much here. International financial markets. Okay, balance of payments. Balance of payments. How many of you have the idea of balance of payment? Any of you? Kalyan or Anil, do you have idea of balance of payment?
No, sir.
Yeah, it is simply the balance sheet of the country. It is simply balance sheet, right? The assets and liability, the list of assets and liabilities of a company, right? Similarly, the country also has something like that, but we don't call it balance sheet. We call it a balance of payments. And we will discuss this also in detail. Then international financial institutions, also constitute the environment. Fine. Functions of international financial management. Planning and control, yeah. Allocation of funds, acquisition of funds, changing role of, yeah, finance man. Sir, naku only accounting, Indian accounting standards say తెలుసు, international accounting standards తెలీదు. American accounting standards asale తెలియదు, sir. I know only Indian GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. Indian generally accepted accounting principles say నాకు తెలుసు, sir. I don't know about other countries. You can't say that in the changing scenario. When your company is going international, if you are not prepared, then you will be odd man out. The company will hire somebody else new, okay, a fresher than you, and you will be left behind. So therefore, you have to keep adapting yourself to the changing demands of the company. Discuss the functions of financial management. These are the side headings, 4 main side headings. What it does, it first function means what it is doing. It first, management plans for resources that can be pulled from the international forum, and also controls. Look at this. Yeah, the foreign exchange market and international accounting play a key role when any MNC attempts to perform its planning and control function. For example, once a company crosses national boundaries, its return on investment depends not only on its trade gains, or losses, but on normal business operations, but also on exchange gains. Let's say suddenly the dollar dominates against the rupee. What happens to you? When you're exporting, you're at a gain point. Okay, you're at gain. When the dollar is strengthening against the rupee, you get more number of rupees. But when dollar is weakening compared to when you have made the deal and supplied the goods, and if you are an exporter, then you are at loss. That's what. All these have to be planned for carefully before you go for international, before you go for as a company international. Then after getting the money, international capital is very expensive, and it is very risky also. So funds should be allocated among your requirements and needs in such a way that you maximize the wealth of the stakeholders at international platforms. Okay, there are about 195 companies in India, I'm sorry, across the country, big countries, big companies across the globe. Like you have Amazon, you have uh, you know, big companies, you can go on listing Microsoft. Okay. So all these can invest funds, but see to it that they are judiciously invested so that the shareholders' wealth is maximized. Then acquisition of funds. This is financing. Then this is your role as a manager, what you're supposed to do. You write these 4 points. That's how you get the functions of management. So goals of international finance. That's a small thing. International financial management versus domestic financial management. Yeah, this you have to understand very carefully. When there's an exposure or risk, okay, at international, it is more risky, right? You exported the goods. There is no guarantee whether you get the money or not get the money. I'll tell you one small example. When the previous governments were there and the Chinese were troubling Maldives, Maldives polity, Maldives leadership was with India. Now, the Chinese are taking the side of Maldives. When Chinese began pampering Maldives, Maldives also, becoming closer and closer to China. When it is becoming closer to China, then it began snapping ties with India. Slowly, little by little, they started distancing. When they started distancing, if at all, if you have some export business to Maldives, let's say, spices or, or something else you're exporting, when things get precipitated, you will not be getting what you have supplied. You will not be getting the money that is to be paid for the goods you have supplied to Maldives. Look at this. There's a risk which is called exposure. Okay. So foreign exchange exposure, or because of some reasons, the exchange rate may be going up and down, just as I told you earlier. Then it is, at a larger scale, you had to see. Foreign international financial management is at a large scale, at a bigger scale, at a macro level, whereas for domestic financial management is a small level. With a basic idea of financial accounting and financial management, one can be a finance executive or finance manager, finance vice president within the country. But if you are going global as a company, then you need to adapt yourself. Okay. Then tax procedures also are different. Within the country, you are complying only the laws of or tax system of only one country. But if you are operating in 50 countries, 50 countries tax requirements you had to fulfill. And not only that, 50 countries compliances you have to do, just like we are complying to the Securities Exchange Board of India in India. You have to comply with that respect to stock market regulator in that country. That's a legal requirement. Fine. Then different group stakeholders. There are diverse people, diverse stakeholders. And derivatives, this is another thing I'll be telling you at a later stage. And different standards of reporting. The way you report the financial data, I just told you, Indian GAAP and US GAAP. It's a different, okay. If you're going to US, you may have to follow US GAAP. No, I know only Indian GAAP. No, we don't accept Indian GAAP. Just like the doctors, though they are very seasoned doctors with high qualification and experience in India, they are not allowed to practice there until they clear MRCS or FRCS exam in the United Kingdom. So you have to, they're different, systems are different. And here also in the international finance, it is different. Then capital management. In an MNC, yeah, the way you manage the capital is different with the way you do it in the domestic company. Because for everything, you have to again check the rest of these above which are listed. When you're managing the capital, you have to look into or take into consideration all these points when you're managing, not just doing on your own, just like as you're doing for a local company. So therefore, these are the major differences between international financial management and domestic financial management. Okay, then that's all. These are the questions. Okay. Then unit 2, theories of exchange rate. Okay, purchasing power parity, right? I will just tell you one or two. Actually, this is a big topic, but they have just kept in one module. Actually, the one block is required for the entire theory. This is a very big area. Yeah. Look at the definition of exchange rate. I'm just highlighting. Look at this. You have to write this. You have to answer this sentence whenever anybody asks you on this. What is exchange rate? What is exchange rate? If somebody asks you, it is a rate. It is the rate at which one country's currency will be exchanged with another country's currency. The rate at which one country's currency is being exchanged with that of another country's currency. That is exchange rate, foreign exchange rate. So this is, the value of one country's currency in relation to another country's currency, right? So a country's supply of foreign currency comes from its exports. Okay. Then the country's country's foreign exchange will be flowing out of the country. Okay. When it is importing. When you're importing, your forex comes down. When you're exporting, the forex increases. That's what I just want you to understand. How the exchange rate is determined. How the exchange rate is determined. Models on exchange rate determination. Okay. So it is all again, it is all again your supply and demand. Supply and demand. Okay. Look at this. The supply and demand of foreign exchange. This is a traditional way. And sometimes they also use the balance of payment as a basis for determining the foreign exchange. Okay. How the price is fixed in the market? A small question, please. How the price is fixed in the market, Anil or Kalyan? In the competitive market, let's say at Aditya Enclave in Hyderabad, at Amirpet, there are many, food outlets. thousands of food outlets are there, small to medium range or upper medium range also. Even star hotel is there. There are a couple of star hotels there. So if it is a common street vending food stall, how these idli and dosa prices are fixed? When you look at with a slight differentiation, almost all the all the food vendors fix the same price. Okay, adanta enduku. When you go to the vegetable market in your Raitu Bazaar, almost all the vegetable vendors fix the same price. Those who want to go home early may lower the price and sell it, but in general, all the prices are same. Fine. You go to General Bazaar or Begum Bazaar and inquire about on pearls or anything. You will find the same price with a slight differentiation. Look at this. How do they know about these prices? All of them know everybody's prices in that market. Right. And how they decide the price, how the price is fixed. The price is fixed with the interaction of the demand and the price. Demand and a supply of the goods. Correct, na? Agree with me? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
The more the demand, the price goes up. Some time back, maybe when I was in school or in childhood, the tomato price in those days, almost in a year, 3 or 4 times curfew was imposed in Hyderabad. Every year, 3 to 4 times. Whenever there's a curfew of 1 week, the tomato price go up to 60 rupees. What actually we used to get for 50 paise per kilogram. Believe me, the regular price of tomato was just 50 rupees in Hyderabad at that time. Where it was 50 paise, used to go up to 60 rupees per kilogram. Why? There's a very less supply of tomato or vegetables, and there's a very short time given relaxation for curfew. And we had to go and pick up those things quickly and go away. Right. And because there's a little supply and there are many people rushing, the price is being pushed up. It goes to 10 rupees, it goes to 20, 30. And lastly, when he sees that there are many people coming, yeah, if you pay 60 rupees, then we are ready to sell. That's how the price is being pushed up. With the interaction of the demand and supply of the commodities, the price is fixed. Same way with the interaction of the demand and supply of the currency of various countries, the price is determined under traditional approach. Do you understand? Then you have balance of payment model. Okay. So a country with the trade deficit will experience reduction in its foreign exchange reserve, which is, which depreciates the value of its currency. Balance of payment is added and it is depreciating. Okay. What is depreciating? It is depreciating the value of the currency. Balance of payment, if it is having deficit. If it is having surplus, contrary to this will happen. We'll stop here because other teachers may have to join in the same link. I will stop here. There are many things that we have to discuss, but since the time available to us is less, I thought I will just give the outline, but I'm just going in almost like teaching format. Actually, teaching should not be done here. It's only counseling. So, okay, if you have any questions, quickly ask me. I will quickly respond to your questions. Then, if you don't have questions, we will stop here. Yes, please.
I said no questions, sir.
Kalyan doesn't have questions?
No, sir.
Anil?
Sir, no.
No questions? Now, the session is over. Okay. Now, feel free to talk to me. Ask any questions that you want. Any question related to the financial management and international financial management. Any question ante akada కాంగ్రెస్ గెలుస్తుందా గెలవదా సార్ అని అడగద్దు. దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ అవర్ డిస్కషన్. దట్స్ నాట్ అవర్ డిస్కషన్. And only related to financial management and international financial management.
సార్ మేము కూడా చదవాలి సార్. ఈ మధ్య వస్తే చదివి కూడా కొద్దిగా అర్థం చేసుకున్న తర్వాత కొత్తలేమైనా వస్తాయి.
చదవాలంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు క్లాస్లో జాయిన్ అయితే ఇది ఒక పుష్ అన్నమాట. యు గాట్ ది ట్రిగ్గర్ కదా, ట్రిగ్గర్ ఇవ్వాలి. ట్రిగ్గర్ మీకు దొరకాలంటే క్లాస్ అటెండ్ అవ్వాలి. క్లాస్ అటెండ్ అయితే ఆ ట్రిగ్గర్ వస్తుంది, చదవాలనే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పుట్టుకొస్తుంది. అసలు ఏం లేదనుకో, వై పీపుల్ గో టు క్లాస్, వాట్ వి లెర్న్ ఫ్రమ్ ద క్లాస్ ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ 20% or 30%. రిమైనింగ్ ఆల్ ఈజ్ లెర్న్ బై అవర్ సెల్స్ అట్ దిస్ స్టేజ్.
మెటీరియల్ ఇస్తే బాగుండేది సార్ చదవడానికి.
ఏమండి?
మెటీరియల్ ఉంటే స్టడీ పర్పస్ బాగుంటుండే సార్.
మెటీరియల్ ఉంది కదా, తీసుకోలేదా?
అంటే ఇది అదే ఎక్కడ సార్, అక్కడ యూనివర్సిటీలో ఇస్తారా సార్?
యూనివర్సిటీ మీకు వస్తుంది కదా పోస్ట్లో.
రాలేదు సార్, ఫస్ట్ సెమ్ కి కూడా ఇట్లానే అయింది సార్.
No, material is must. You talk to them, get it done.
సార్ విచ్
స్టూడెంట్ సర్వీస్ ఐ థింక్ బోర్డో ఏదో ఉంటుంది, SSBO స్టూడెంట్ సర్వీస్ సెల్లో ఏదో ఉంది. వాళ్ళకి ఫోన్ చేసి తెప్పించుకోండి. లేదా మీకు ఎవరైతే ఫోన్ చేసి గ్రూప్ లో ఉన్నారు కదా,
ఉన్నారు సార్.
కన్సర్న్డ్ సార్ ని కనుక్కుంటే కూడా వాళ్ళు కూడా గైడ్ చేస్తారు. యూనివర్సిటీ డీన్, ప్రొఫెసర్, హెడ్, వీళ్ళు ఎవరిని కనుక్కున్నా కానీ they'll help you to get the material. మెటీరియల్ ఉండాలి. మెటీరియల్ లేకపోతే ఇట్స్ ఆల్ బ్లాంక్ కదా. వాట్ ఎవర్ ఐ స్పీక్ ఆల్సో ఈజ్ ఆఫ్ నో యూజ్. నేను చెప్పిన తర్వాత, మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత, ఆ ట్రిగ్గర్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత నువ్వు పోయి అసలు సార్ ఏం చెప్పాడని చూసుకోవాలి కదా. చూసుకోవడానికి లేకపోతే మరి ఇట్స్ ఆల్ వేస్ట్.
అది సాఫ్ట్ కాపీ పెట్టారు సార్ అంతే.
ఓకే, సాఫ్ట్ కాపీ అట్లీస్ట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు గో త్రూ.
అదే సార్, ఫస్ట్ టైం లో కూడా అదే అలాగే పెట్టారు సార్. ఇప్పుడు
సాఫ్ట్ కాపీ సంథింగ్ ఈజ్ బెటర్ కదా.
అదే
సాఫ్ట్ కాపీ ఈజ్ ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు దీస్ ఆర్ ద డేస్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ ఇన్ హార్డ్ కాపీస్. ఓకే, సాఫ్ట్ కాపీ తోటి మేనేజ్ చేయొచ్చు. కాకపోతే హార్డ్ కాపీ పేజెస్ టర్న్ చేసుకుంటాం, మార్క్ చేసుకుంటాం. హార్డ్ కాపీ అయితే అండర్లైన్ చేసుకుంటాము, రౌండ్ ఆఫ్ చేసుకుంటాము. ఈ కంఫర్ట్స్ అన్ని ఇక్కడ ఉండవు. చేసుకోవచ్చు, ఇక్కడ కూడా చేసుకోవచ్చు, కానీ యానోటేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, కానీ యు ఆర్ నాట్ యూస్ టు దోస్ థింగ్స్ కదా. యు ఆర్ నాట్ రెగ్యులర్ స్టూడెంట్స్.
ఓకే.
Right, we'll close it. We are taking too much time. I think we have exceeded to 34. Okay, I'll stop here. Good day. Take care.
Okay, sir.